Okay, it starts with just a few people talking, but it grows and it grows, and it starts to be almost like, almost like the whole class. It's never the whole class though. So there's always 3 kids, no matter what. That no matter what you do, is sitting there, just ready to learn. Well, I got to start doing something. So I get into my tactics, and the first one was to give a firm verbal warning. But the problem with the warning is, how many warnings can you keep track of in your head? Because the purpose, the warning, the whole purpose of the warning, you don't sit and write it down. There's a warning, it's supposed to not interrupt the flow. But see, when a veteran teacher who says give a verbal warning, yeah, when a veteran teacher issues a verbal warning, the kids don't want to know what comes next. When you guys offer a warning, they want to know what comes next. So, and they did want to know what came next, which is why you're teaching, and warning, and you're teaching. Now you've got a warning. You 3 in the back all warning. Now you're giving out warnings. Now you start losing track. I think you have one, but if not, first of all, I know it's your first warning. And you give them a warning, and you can't keep track of it for me. For me, the next consequence, which you guys didn't have, but it's still worth talking about, because you will try other things, was now you have your second warning, so I got your name on the board, and then you come back and you're teaching, and now warning, teaching, warning, second warning, you come back over here, Joe. You come back, warning, 3 warnings, checked by Steve. And the kids start to realize after a while that it's like a game. They can get this guy to walk from the center of the room to the edge of the room anytime they want. So you say, I'm not going to play that game anymore. Melissa, second warning, and wherever you happen to be standing. So now I got the names all over the blackboard. I got checks. I gave out, 27 warnings. There's 15 names on the board. I got, 12 checks. I stopped class over 50 times. It's a 45-minute period. Each time takes some time, and no one's actually gotten into any trouble. I've gone through my first, my first consequences, which were warning and name on the board. No one's in any trouble. The bell rings, and everyone leaves. So no consequence from it. No, not really. Let's see. So now, and of course, you have to race around the names to teach your lesson. So it's pretty bad. So all I have is 3 consequences left. I have detention, call parents, and send kids to the office. And I realized that if I really follow my consequence list, this literally, like everyone except these 3 kids are going to be in the office by the end of the period every day. So I have to do, and I make my next major mistake of new teachers, is I pace myself. I need to pace myself. I can't go through this list so fast. The only way to pace yourself is to, in between the consequences, start doing threats. So it's not, okay, you already have detention. Instead of saying I'm calling your parents, it's no. Now you got detention. Now next time I'm calling parents. And you start inserting these threats in between. The problem there is just like the warning. Now you've got to keep track of not only all the warnings, but you actually have to keep track of all the threats before you give the consequence. Because if he's got a threat between detention and calling parents, then everyone deserves to have that. Otherwise you're being unfair, and they kind of trick you into being unfair. Because there's no way. You are going to mess that one up, or you're going to lose your patience and just say the threat stage is over, and now you go directly from one consequence to the next. So I'm making threats just to pace myself. Well, after the threat, the next thing was detention. Now in my school, very reasonable policy, because these are school children, you can't give detention for that day. It's detention tomorrow after school. And you tell a middle school kid that you have detention tomorrow, they have no concept of time. So you might as well say you have detention 8 years from last Thursday. Because it wasn't making that connection. And sometimes I thought that I would do the deterrence detention. That's where you say, next one who talks gets 2 weeks detention. I just had it. I got to have silence. There is no deterrence. There's no. If you want to say it, but you are going to be there with the kid for 2 weeks, and there's a chance that some kid who never talked before just says something, and you're like, 2 weeks detention. You want to say, next bad kid who talks gets detention. You can't say that one. Even when I did detention, I did the wrong kind of detention. I did the rehab detention. I did detention, the get to know you detention. What do you want to be when you grow up? How about you? That's not a good detention. Just to sort of fast forward, good detention is you sit there, I'm going to grade papers, I'll tell you when an hour's up. You might say, what about you sit there and do your work? You sit there, I'll do my stuff. If you want to do the work, doing the work isn't an awful thing, but rehab detention is a really bad detention. So I'm really running low on my options. I'm up to the calling parent. And it's not like you pick up the phone, or you could, I guess, pick up the phone call right there, but that's, you got your classes in chaos. You're going to pick up the phone, and the parent's going to hear, chaos going on. That's probably not going to work. So you don't actually call the parents. You say, okay, you already have detention, you named all this stuff, now you're getting the call home tonight. And you think that, or I thought that would make the kid be quiet for the rest of the period, because now he's on the record. Everything that happened from now on, he knows his parents are going to hear about. It didn't make the kid any better for that period for a lot of reasons. One, how do you know that the kid even has a phone? And if he has a phone, how do you know that you have the right phone number? Because sometimes they fill out what the phone number is. Even if he does have a phone number, you told him you're calling, so he answers the phone. Or he doesn't answer the phone, just lets it ring. Or he answers it, says they're not home, and hangs up. Or they are home, and he says they're not home. Or they're home, and he puts them on, and they say, hey, I don't know what to do. But usually they say, okay, I'm going to get on him. So you think that makes the kid act better, but maybe he doesn't care. But 99% of the time the kid does care, even with all those things. But he's still going to pretend he doesn't care for the rest of the period. So saying you're getting a call home tonight never quieted the kid for the rest of the day like I thought it was supposed to. So I'm really in trouble. This is, the class is talking, no one's listening except for like 3 kids. I'm trying to teach my lesson. I'm feeling like the flight attendant, they're giving the emergency procedures, explaining it, and everyone's just kind of, I'm invisible. There's 3 kids listening. I'm planning a lesson. My lesson takes 4 days to make it through. A 1-hour lesson is taking 4 days to make it through the lesson. So I'm in serious trouble. Now this made lesson planning a lot easier, but it wasn't what I wanted. I was looking for things to be easy. I was looking to teach. So I have to go to the big one, okay? I gotta send kids to the office. Don't want to do it? Have to do it. So I'm sending kids to the office, right? Now how does that work? When you're envisioning yourself sending kids to the office, is it like you office and they like disappear and they don't come back? They don't have office as their last consequence. Here's the way it works. You have to write up like a discipline referral card. So it's not your office and they disappear and you keep teaching. You have to come over to your thing, start writing up the thing, explaining what happens. Then in our school, you handed it to the kid. Now the kids are supposed to take that to the office, but they start reading it out loud, saying, you lie, as they storm out. Now they have this thing. This thing actually serves as a hall pass, which is gold, because you can just walk around the halls, go into the office, go into the office. I thought the office was a bad place until I found a note that said, get sent to the office, 5th period, I'll meet you there. The office is not a bad place. The kids, that's where all the bad kids go, whatever. Kids, and it's like a party in there. So that was pretty bad. Then what I didn't realize, but at least the kid was gone for the rest of the period. That was working okay until, one thing they'll never tell you at your school's induction is that every school's got a magic number, 7, 9, it's always less than 10. It's the number of discipline cards you could send in the year before the kids get just sent right back to you. You become the boy who cried wolf. So you've already sent 10 kids in the year. Now, the second you go, the kid says everyone was doing it, the principal or assistant principal says, go back to class. So now I'm sending kids out, that'll do it for him, and they're coming back, like in a horror movie, So I passed the magic number. So now I'm really in trouble. I've been saving discipline cards. Did this one for, I guess, 12 years now. My handwriting looks stressed. It says, 1, left room without permission. 2, entered room through window. Was returned to class after. It's already happened and he was bounced back. So magic number. Was returned to class after conference. Continued to cause trouble, throw spitballs, change teeth without permission, etc. So now what am I going to do? I'm on the last page of a certain discipline. I'm thinking there's going to be like a card that says, need the last consequence, send, $1,000 to the cancer. But there's nothing. I don't know what to do. Everyone's talking except for 3 kids, right? My original theory of little noise is going to help them learn a little more. So by that logic, I guess my kids are all going to be geniuses because the whole class is talking. And I've gone through my consequences, and I'm out of consequences.